Hello and welcome to the Darkest Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the game Ars Notoria. Now this game is not out yet. I've been doing videos on it for probably a couple months now. I just every once in a while it comes to the back of my mind that says, look, I want to look back at this game and I want my YouTube subscribers to keep notice of the game, keep up to date with the game. In my previous videos, I just went through the question and answer bucket on Discord, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm just going to grab Discord and bring it over, and then we get some really good chunks of information when we hear the devs' response to some of these questions. So what I ended up doing was just scrolling up here. And what we're going to do, this goes back to March 24th. So that's a pretty good time away, almost a month. So let's look at what the devs are talking about in their answers. The devs is this Xron guy. That's their dev person. Yeah, the button isn't visible yet and will appear once we publish the testing build and is ready to play. Okay, so he's basically answering the question that there's going to be a testing build coming out shortly that they're hoping that they're just going to put on Steam, and then people can just download it and test the game like a demo. What happened? Okay, so do you mean what happens to a character when player leaves the server? Characters disappeared with some visual effects. We might have gone over these question and answers already in my other video. So you just log off the server and you just disappear from the world. The game uses listen servers by default. One player needs to host the game and the other players can join. We'll also upload a build that allows players to host their own dedicated servers. So that's the other thing about it is there'll be dedicated servers that you can host on other boxes or on a hosting platform like G Portal. So this is I wrote hosted dedicated is his way to go. And this person replied, yeah, P2P sucks when you get the one friend. We all know that person that has a dollar store potato internet. Yeah, that's the problem with peer-to-peer connections. That's why there's a couple games in the market that I haven't bought that I was really interested in because they didn't have dedicated servers, they didn't have public servers, they just had the peer-to-peer connection, which in my opinion in this day and age is just garbage. It's playable, but I like larger amounts of people on my servers and larger people to play with, larger volume of people to play with. So when I say garbage, I guess if you're just playing with your wife or you're playing with 3 or 4 real good friends from childhood and peer-to-peer is fine, that's fine. But for me, for what I do in my playing environment, I like a robust player base. Tarkus, not yet at the demo. Okay, so what's this? It looks like somebody else replied to me. Oh no, I replied to them. Any release date on the price or settings yet? And I wrote, no, I forgot I wrote this, folks. It's been a little while. Not yet. In the demo beta will be available to everyone when they have it ready. And I got some people to give me a thumbs up. So it looks like I've already gone. Okay, so let's go down a little bit here. So let's start here. About server tools, most of the settings will be exposed when launching a server, enabling disable damage between players, allowing importing existing characters or not, difficulty settings, etc., etc. Admin doesn't have any special tools right now apart from customizing the game world or the game or when the game is created. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of static objects would you want to be able to spawn? Oh, so they're looking at like command. The question is maybe I could drop in a tree or drop in a forge or a spinning wheel. They wanted just be able to pull it out. But there's a mode in the game that allows you full builder mode, and you don't even need to conjure things. You can just build them without needing the mats. They do have that available as a server setting. The game already has a very expensive building crafting menu, and also anything that you can see in the game can be built and crafted by players, buildings, fortification, outposts, decorations, trees, and crops. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, you could activate free building mode in the server settings, which I just said, and no resources are needed to build the buildings. So you don't really need to summon them. You just go to your building menu and just build it, right? As an admin command, you won't need to just summon it. So if you want to create some location, like a little settlement or something for role playing, I think free build mode can be be pretty useful. And after completing the building, you can disable it and continue to play normally. So it allows you as a server hoster, you can just get on there and build a nice little town with free build, and then shut free build off on yourself, and then play with the rest of the people on normal mode. But the town now exists in the game. All right, so here is another response. We're working on implementing the new harvesting skills and equipment, which we mentioned in the latest developer log, and you can click here for that log. Well, we think it is nice improvement. There's quite a lot of work involved. Skill trees with 12 abilities for each of the 9 harvesting professions, which means programming 108 abilities and drawing icons for them, as well as around 50 new buildings and functional tools. We are adding them pretty fast, and already did 4 out of 9 skill trees. Wow. Okay. I mean, I would like to help them test this game. As you know, I'm a tester, alpha tester, beta tester. I've tested so many video games in my past. Can't wait to get my hands on this game and help them bring it to the finish line, because there's always going to be something that a tester is going to find that's going to be a problem. Then we got some people asking questions, and okay. I think, yeah, it would be possible. We still need to receive a dev kit before that, though, and do some. Oh, that must be because they want Steam Deck. They must be asking the question Steam Deck. Yeah, Steam Deck. So they're asking about the Steam Deck. It will be playable on the Steam Deck, and they need to get a kit from Steam to do it. We have horses already implemented, and there will be a farming professions related skills that focuses on growing crops and raising animals, cows, sheep, chickens. About taming wild animals and having pets, we already like the idea and plan to add that into the game. Probably not on the first testing version. Before, we still need to finish the development of the other content, but definitely before early access launch. Okay, so let's scroll down here. There's some questions. Okay, so the developer answers, yeah, it will be like this. Technically, I think it still counts as closed testing, because when you press the button, it sends a request for access, and we still need to approve them. That's how they implemented it on Steam, so we cannot make any changes there. But since we plan to approve all received requests regularly, every few hours in the first days, and probably once a day, everyone who wants to participate will be able to do so. That's for the demo testing phase. Oh, we're at the bottom of the question and answer thing. We're at the bottom, folks. Okay, and then they go on to say, as we have mentioned earlier, the only thing left to finish before the start of the testing are harvesting professions and more equipment. These are new additions that we decided to implement after some initial testing. We finished 5 out of 9 harvesting skill trees, and most likely would finish 6 this week. The only other thing that is highly requested, and we would like to crack out before the testing, is a Steam Deck support. And if we have the opportunity to do so, either by getting the dev kit or using regular one, we will try to include it too. Apart from that, we don't plan to add anything new, and we'll publish the testing build almost as soon as we finish the development of these features. Few days will be needed to make the announcement, submit it on Steam, and run the testing. Well, guys, if you ever need a testing, developers, I can help test your product. Let's go to this chat here where the developer, this is just the general chat for the game. Bosses and enemies in general are tweaked more towards skill-based combat, so while having good equipment helps, it mostly depends on the player's skill. The same goes for the endgame boss, and we'll definitely want to make them dangerous even at max gear. Even very rare drops at the moment, main unique drops like weapons or armor for bosses are pretty much guaranteed, and only some extra items, trophies, or accessories, which are provided small gameplay bonuses, have low drop rates. This way, you still get rewarded nicely for defeating a challenging boss, but also have an extra chance to attain something rare. All right, I think this game has a lot of promise. This game looks like it's got some phenomenal graphics. Its premise is a PvE game with some survival aspects, not really high core survival aspects. They say that you don't really need to eat or drink in the game, but by doing so, you get added buffs for that, or get mods to what you're doing. They're comparing it to Valheim. I would imagine it would also be compared to Frozen Flame. in Riven World. I would think that, I mean, Riven World's a PvP game. Frozen Flames are a PvP game too, but in the sense of building and interacting with the world, I think it's good comparison to that. They're saying it's a single player online co-op, and they are going to have the dedicated servers, so that should not be too much of a problem. They got their own Discord. That's what I just brought over for us to read. And then this just goes on to talk about the game itself and what the requirements of the game is. Now, it looks like you can have a potato computer and run this thing because it's saying Windows 7. So I mean, it sounds like they've got it optimized real well. If that's the case, if it can be run on Windows 7. So let's just go over to the discussions page, see if anything's been active since I've been last on. How alive is the world? Is there any possible for the Steam Deck support? We've already seen that. How alive is the world? Will there be magic in casting and staves? I think yes. I think if there will be a magic system in the game. Overall, it goes in parallel with physical combat. So characters of any class will be able to use it, but there will be class specializations that focus more on using magic than weapons. So yeah, it's a magical genre kind of game. How alive is the world? Toot, toot. I like to, and yeah, I mean we know it's a lively world. If you've been following my channel or just watching my videos, it seems like it's got a really robust crafting system, questing system, interaction with NPC system. It just all together looks really, really nice. And I'm really, really looking forward to playing this game and getting my hands on the testing so that I can start doing videos on this game and doing what I do. I test video games, and I really enjoy doing it. All right, well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.